Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today on Tamper with a Plan. In this video, we're going to be setting up our planner, my planner for November and December, the end of the year planner. I have October right now on a spiral, and this is the Laurel Denise planner system that I'm really loving. The spiral COIL, I do like it better than I thought, mostly because I still can take pages in and out, like inserts, make them into inserts. And I love the color of the COIL. It's just like so beautiful. It's like this antique brass. But one of the things that I noticed when I first used a COIL years and years ago is that they do get kind of bent out of shape and bent, especially if you're using them a lot. And that's kind of happening. But the additional thing is the COIL is not big enough. It's barely big enough to hold. And this is just October in here for my Frankenplanner, Laurel Denise Frankenplanner. Barely has enough space for October on here. And what I would really like to do is have October, November, and December all in one planner. So I did a little practice, and I showed this in my last kind of planner chat video, little practice getting this together onto a DISCS. This is the Laurel Denise planner. These pages I clipped like inserts, but I did not even punch them, and they do pop onto the discs fine. This is a 9-disc like classic planner size system. I'm kind of showing you, I did a cardboard cover out of the Laurel Denise boxes. It's just not very sturdy, so I put this into this Happy Planner cover that's punched on. It's a big Happy Planner cover punched down here originally by the company, and then I punched it here just to give a little extra support, and that was just playing around. But the point is that these pages do fit on discs, and even without being punched, just with being clipped how I do them with inserts, they will flip on the discs. And the big page I did punch just to see, and it flips a lot easier on the COIL. And then these ones I also did punch with a Happy Planner punch, and they just go on and off very easily. What I was afraid is that they might pull off a little too easily on this one. But that one I had pulled off. I don't think it's going to be a problem, but we'll see. I have options. So what I'm doing is taking the Nancy's, and I think this one is just the Anne. Yeah, the Nancy's and the Anne from my Frankenplanner, and I want to pop them on to discs. So it's going to be a little bit of a project. Now I'm using this cover for November. I really went back and forth whether to use this for November or December because they kind of look like flower snowflakes, which I thought would be really pretty for December. But I mean, it doesn't really snow in November often, but every now and then it does. Maybe it does where you are. So I think it could still be a good cover for November. It was my original cover choice for November. So we're gonna grab that cover off. Now this is just an example to show you when I did a dual loop COIL from Happy Planner, and I did punch this to put discs on, and it's a cardboard cover, so it doesn't work the best with discs. You can see it bends a little, but this held up for, I think I used it for 3 or 4 months, and it worked fine. So, but it was a little sad to have to punch it at first. Like I felt like I was ruining it. So it's a little sad to punch the Laurel Denise one at first, but we're gonna do it anyway. What you do need to have is a We Are Memory punch, because the Happy Planner punch will not punch through the cardboard. And so this was a Happy Planner dual loop spiral O-ring. I think that's what it's called. I'm not really like up on the different COILs. So the first thing we're gonna do to get started is pull off this cover. And to pull off the covers in Laurel Denise, it's a little bit of a work, but not really too much. You just put the covers in the back together. So yeah, you can just see like some of the COIL, it just has some bend marks. It makes me wonder how long it's gonna hold up. But the other reason, so disc system, I'm thinking because I want more pages on at once with the Laurel Denise Frankenplanner, and then also maybe just like be able to pop in more pages more easily is the idea, although it's not difficult to do in the Laurel Denise planners. But what I'm gonna do right now is open all of the pages here. And in fact, let me look at this real quickly. Well, we'll look at it when let's get the cover off first, okay? And then we're gonna look at some of the pages. So I'm just opening the O-ring here, if that's what it's called. I think that's what it's called. and the cover is going to roll right off for use. Okay, so now that it's open, cover 1 comes right off. I'm going to set that aside for a second. Cover 2 comes right off. Okay, so before we put it back together, because I might want to take some pages off, I'm going to see what's over here. Okay, so we're going to grab that one off. And to grab pages off, so see, it's November and December right here. And I want to grab these off. These are the Nancy's. And I could clip them and do it that way, but I think they're going to punch nicer if they've been pulled off the coil without being clipped. So let's try it. So I'm going to flip over real quickly, grab my December, and these are my December weekly pages. Right? Yep. Has to be. Pretty sure. Okay. And then I'm going to put all of those pages in the back now, and they're actually just going to pull right off. So did you see that? They pulled right off. But what I was essentially doing is bringing them back here and, you know, turning them until they come off. So now I'm going to grab my pages out. And then these pages that I didn't want out right now, I'm just going to slide back on. And these are clipped out pages, so I could pop them back on. But we're going to do it this way, in case you don't have your pages clipped out and you're wanting to do this kind of thing. And I do think by not clipping them out first, it will make it a little easier to be on the disc. But if you have them clipped out first, you saw the example I showed you a few minutes ago on the cardboard cover was clipped out first. And I'm not sure if I explained that well. The cardboard cover was a Laurel Denise box, and I saw a video on YouTube where a gal made a cover from cardboard Laurel Denise box. And actually we're gonna do, no, we'll do that in a minute. Let me make sure there's no more Decembers in here. I do think I'm gonna take out the note pages too, but that's gonna be annoying because I'm gonna have to take everything out. It's okay. Can they go out that way? No. We're just gonna do it. It's a little annoying. I'm gonna have to take the whole planner off now, but it's okay. So I'm just gonna uncoil it for the moment and get the last pages, the back pages off. Okay, so now my planner is completely apart. It makes me a little nervous. Not really. I do this, you know, it's one of those things that you can figure out eventually. So what do you have? September, and that's already gone. So what I'm trying to do is get these back note pages, which is actually the back of December, so I need this anyway. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, so all this can go back on the coil. I'm gonna set these aside. I wonder if I could get these really well lined up to do this. We're gonna try it. Yeah, so they're pretty well lined up. And then they would be back here. Obviously it makes sense to do part of this at a time. Okay, so while I'm doing this, getting these back on, so I'm just gonna take half, see if it works well enough. The coil kind of pulls in, which is kind of funny. You know, like a slinky a little, because it's not spread out now with the actual pages. But we're gonna get them back on real quickly, then it'll spread them out again. There's 3. So if I had left the cover on to do this part, actually, could I have left the cover on? Yeah, maybe. It could have been a lot easier, but you can see it's not super difficult. They're going in. All right, and now we'll do the other half. Just make sure we got them all. Yeah. And now we'll do the other half and get them back on. And we'll set it aside until we figure out what we're gonna do for a cover. So I'm just lining them up so I can see through all the holes there and then getting them in. And now they're spaced correctly because they already have some of the pages in. So that should just, oh yeah, that was easy. Okay, so for the moment, Now, did I do it right? Oh yeah, I did it right. Okay. For the moment, I'm gonna set this aside because we are gonna have to figure out a cover, and if we're gonna either put one on or the punched one that I have, we might put that one on, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment, which you don't even know what you're missing yet because I haven't really explained well. But now we have one of our Nancy's for all of November pages, December monthly, December pages, December back planning pages, and all of the notes pages. So that's one Nancy, and we need 2 Nancys. So let me grab in my other planner. Here is another Nancy in here, right? Is there? No. Okay, these are just through June, spare pages through June. Okay, that's fine. We will find them. We just might have to dig a little deeper. Oh, I know where one is. One set is still on here, actually. That's where my other Nancy is. So this is where my other Nancy is. It's still on here. And we're using the back page of this November monthly as my journaling planner, and it does have things written on it, but we're still gonna get this off. So again, I think I'm going to just uncoil. And honestly, since I'm taking the October off anyway, we'll just uncoil it all. Yep, so November, December, that'll be 2 Nancys. I'm gonna need a rose, and I'll find that. Does this have any rose pages? No. Does it? Only through June, so all of these are through June. That's good. But we do have a notes page back here for what? Let me check. I'm not sure what planner this used to be, but we're gonna probably need this back page. So give me a second. Do we have it from? We do have it here. So from 2 Nancys we have it. Let me find my Anne's. Okay, I definitely wish I had labeled things better, but this notes section is from my Anne. I know this cover is confusing because this is an academic release cover, but it was put on an Anne Kenwood planner from 2025, Kenwood cover. And I think this one's sherbet, strawberry sherbet or raspberry sherbet or something. The name of the cover is what I'm saying. So anyway, we're gonna get the pages off here that we need, which are in the back. And again, we're not gonna punch them or clip them. And clipping them is just cutting in between the coils to get the pages to be able to pull off. Are these clipped? No, are they? Oh yeah, these are. I'll show you an example. You know, so I cut in between the coil here and got these pages off. So, I don't want to do that for these back pages because, for these note pages, because I want them to stay better on the discs. So we're basically gonna have to take this whole thing off and then put it back on like we did the other one. And look, I know this is kind of a pain process, this part here, but once it's done, it's set up, and I think it'll be worth it in the end, which is why I'm doing it. If I didn't think it would be worth it, I wouldn't be doing it. I think we have to go pretty far for this one, but we'll see. It actually might be at the back here, what we need. I think it might be. Gotta check. Or no, maybe it's at the front. so confusing. Okay, now that those are opened, I'm gonna grab off the covers. And yeah, these are starting, they bend anyway, a coil does, just because of the nature of the coil. But yeah, let's get the back, we get the whole thing off. We're just gonna roll it to get them all off. And grab these back note pages that we need. I set those aside. That's the back of a December monthly setup. And then now we only have through June on here. So I'm gonna try to get the pages back on first, and then we can get the covers on correctly. I think we can do that. Here I'm being ambitious and I'm trying like the whole planner, but hey, it worked there. Come on, we can do it. All right, so now that I wiggled those pages on, I am going to flip them around to this side where they can't come off. And then I'm going to put the covers back on because I don't need these right now. And they're going to protect my basically January from June pages from a few planners. Oops, let's do one at a time so we can kind of see. I have stuff in the way. Okay. And I'm just putting this all back together. So all of that was just to get the pages that I needed, and I think in the future I might just store, like take the coils off and store the pages in a box, and then I can just grab the ones I need instead of having to uncoil and recoil every time. But everything left in here is January to June of the Anne, January to June of a Nancy, and then January to June of a Rose. So those are 2025. And I did figure out an easy way to redate all those later. So that you don't actually have to rewrite all the dates and then the names of the days. But I kind of went over that in a video, but we'll talk about that more when 2026 comes. So now we have all the pages we need for our Frankenplanner. So we just have to figure them out in order, and then we have to take all of our October pages off of here. But before we get our October pages going, before we even start that, let's get our cover ready. And we still have this batch of planner pages, which are some of my old pages that are already filled out. Oh, and then some blanks also. I'm guessing the blanks of a Nancy. So we'll set that aside and let's look at our cover. All right. So this is the example. This Happy Planner one is the example. And we're gonna do that to the Nancy. Now I know it's gonna bend a little. I know it's gonna like not be super sturdy, the Nancy, the cover. And I think this is called Twilight. What is this one called? Something Twilight. It's a really cute cover name, and it's actually a very cute cover. Oh yeah, just Twilight. Okay, perfect. So if dropping things, not surprising. If you're following along with me and you're trying to put a Nancy or an Anne, large or small size, on discs, this is what you're gonna do. There are 17 holes here for the coils, 17 coil loops. So we're gonna go to the complete center, which would be square number 9, these little squares we're working with. So we're gonna count down to square number 9, and that's where we're gonna start. So this is square number 9. I'm gonna make sure. So I have 8 holes on both sides. Square number 9 is right here at this floral bud. And I'm gonna start there. So I'm going to take my punch, and this is the alligator punch from We Are Memory. This thing is heavy duty. If you try to punch a cover like this in a Happy Planner punch, it will not work. You will jam up your punch, possibly break it. So we're starting right there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this line on the We Are Memory punch. This line, yeah, right there, this middle line, this line right here, go into the center of this little box hole that's there. So we're gonna get it on there, right in the center. Okay, so I'm looking, and really that bud lined it up for me, this little floral bud. So I'm pretty much, the line is lined up with this bud. So you can use that if you have that, but not every planner cover is probably gonna have that. I don't know if these are exactly the same. If they are, then you have it at the bud. If not, you line that line up with the center of the hole and scoot it down. You can lift it up and check and make sure, and then just push it back down to the center of the hole. Make sure your board is already pushed all the way against this ledge here, and then you're gonna do your first punch. And it's gonna be hard, so get ready. Get your muscles ready. Okay, that was your first punch. You're gonna slowly back out, and you can see now you have a punch there. So now you're gonna use that punch, line it up into your little guide here. So this is what this has, this is the guide. So the first punch we just did is gonna sit right on top of there. So it's right in there. Even it up, level it off, do your second punch. Okay, so this is punch 1 to the right. We're gonna do 4 punches to the right. Slowly pull it off. Now this new hole that we just punched is gonna line up with our little guide. Level it off. Here's number 2 to the right. We're gonna do 4 to the right and then 4 to the left. Pull it off. Now I did mention, so this is number 3, I might wanna Mod Podge these so that they don't fray. I don't know. It's gonna hold it up, but we might do that. Number 3. Same thing, pull it off. Okay, and so we're gonna do that. This is number 4, the last one on this side. Okay, pull it off. So now for the next side, we have to flip the cover over. We still have our center piece here. Now the center piece is gonna be our guide. It's gonna go on our little guide spot. And we're gonna do 4. Now again to the right. It's actually the left, but you have to flip it over so you can see. And here's 1. Line it up. 2. Line it up. 3. And line it up, last one. 4. Line it up. Okay, so that front cover is done. Let's do the next one. So again, I'm just going to center it on the 9th hole, which happens to be this one right here with the white floral there. And I'm gonna count again. Yep, so that's it, 9. And we're just gonna do that whole process again. I leave this open because the bits are so thick that it'll clog it really quickly, so I just leave the little door open and then I'll, clean it up afterward. So here we're gonna start. I'm gonna make sure it's lined up right in the center and we're gonna punch. Let's check one more time, yep. Use that one as a guide and keep going. Flip it over to the other side, using my center one as a guide. All right, 4 each side. Okay, clean up your little scraps. All right, well that part's done. So now we're gonna pick some discs. And like I said, I could just Mod Podge this and let it dry. Right now we're just gonna finish the video and I'll decide if I'm gonna do that later. Once I get them on, I probably won't. But I do kind of wish I had for my Happy Planner one. And you're gonna see in a moment, it's not gonna be easy to get the discs on because this is a chipboard cover. But these are the discs that those are definitely a no. These are the expander discs that I have. Purple's kind of, whoops. The purple is kind of fun because this, the flower's not actually white, it's kind of purpley. And then black, which I think that's too boring. So let's go between these two. I'm not gonna actually put it on because it would start to, which one, gals? I think I want to use the light purple, but why? It just like brings something, but this silver is pretty. I'm looking through the camera lens because sometimes it's easier to kind of see from that. For my first one, I'm just going to do purple. I know it maybe doesn't look as good. The silver looks actually pretty good, but I love purple, so we're just going to do it. Okay, for these you do one cover at a time, and you're going to see it's going to be kind of hard to get in between that gap. So let's like actually just zoom in real quickly for this part, and we'll do a white background. So let me move that. So you can kind of see it's going to be a little difficult to get in there. You're gonna have to wiggle it a little and maybe bend the cardboard slightly. Okay, whoop, that was pretty easy, but do you see how the cardboard did bend just a little? I don't know if you can see that. It's like a little bend now forward. And that's from putting the disc on. But again, I've used these chipboard covers for months and it hasn't had any further problem except maybe a little fraying like I showed you. All right, so let's get them all on for this first one. Yep, there is a bend. Come on, bend. But I'm just gonna get them all now, but you can see everyone is just slightly bending. So it's kind of a shame. Front cover on. Let's work on the back cover. Essentially the same thing. We're just gonna, if it bends a little because it's cardboard, it's okay. They're still sturdy. There we go. Second cover is always a little harder when they're thicker like this, but okay. All right. I like the look. I like the look. It's not perfect, but I like it. All right, so let's set that aside while we punch our pages. Here are our pages, and it's going to take a while to get these punched. You know, the Happy Planner punch. I'm just going to be using the classic Happy Planner punch. Let me make sure. If your punch is like acting up or before you do a big project, you might want to check and make sure that everything's clear in the back. And then we will get ready to punch. So we'll grab a couple pages at a time. I think for the cardstock, which is this notes page, I'm just going to do it alone. And we're gonna, so it's not the right size. The Happy Planner Classic would be all the way up to that line and then down to this line. So I'm eyeballing, centering it, and we're gonna punch. We'll set it aside. And then Happy Planner has a 2-page limit when you're punching. And then this is Laurel Denise paper, which is better than Happy Planner paper, so you definitely want to stay with that 2 limit. You also want to make sure you're pushing all the way back into the punch until you hit the back wall there, so that it punches far enough in. So I'll just do 2 at a time. Okay, this is the last page for this one, so I'm just going to do it alone. Then we have the weeklies, which we're going to have to line up again as well. anytime you're punching pages, whether it's blank printed pages from a printed planner or these types of pages, they're gonna be a little staggered unless you get them all in. I was just trying. I was trying all the weeklies. I don't know why. I was being lazy for a moment. Okay, so we're gonna get these in. These are the weeklies. Line them up. Punch. I'm going to take a second when this is all done and reorganize, but anytime you're Frankenplanning and punching, you'll have to do that anyway. So it's not unique to this situation. This is a cardstock. Weeklies. I did 3 pages in that, and that's why you could hear it like jam a little. It didn't jam, but like struggle a little. For the weeklies, I just wanted to try it. Okay, my bookmark out. Okay, so now we'll go back to 2. Frankenplanning like this can be frustrating and confusing, but honestly there's also this part of it that's like soothing, because you know you're about to get your planner together in the way that you need. And I do like that. Last page of what we have out. So we'll pop these in and then we'll see what else we need to put in. Okay. So I'm going to empty my tray. That's probably quite a bit in here of the punches. You can actually see it's not that much because we already had the square holes in there. So it wasn't like punching like a blank empty or a solid page. We really were punching around the squares. All right, I'm gonna set this aside because everything is already full. And let's get our planner out. So we know our first planner is an Anne, and I don't think we have the Anne pages in here. Our last planner is a Nancy journal, which is still in my October planner. So let's arrange this. So what do we have here? These are back pages. So these are all the back pages from my first Nancy that's in there. So you have like the 4 grid and the 4 dot grid and then the back tab. So I'm gonna pop that in. Now my Nancy work planner is my second planner in my Frankenplanner. Don't fall, don't fall, nothing fall. I'm gonna move the stack so I don't knock it off and then just be annoyed at myself for not moving it. Okay, so Nancy back pages I'm gonna pop in here, and I like that I have the extra grid because I might need them for the project pages. Okay, now I have another Nancy. What is this? Oh, this is December, so this goes in. This might be the Anne. We'll call this the Anne front pages, back pages, I mean. They look the same. The back pages do, so yeah, we'll just call this the Anne. Now we have my Nancy, which is my work, and I have November and December here. It's working pretty well, gals. And then my notes for my Anne, or sorry, for my Nancy. Okay, and that's it. So we have really only a back page set for the Anne. And an entire work Nancy for November and December in here. It's a good start. All right. Now what I want to do is take my current planner apart. Crash. Not unexpected. And get all these pages out. And then we can figure out like what everything is. So we're gonna open the COIL in the back here and roll everything out. So I'm doing these with 2025 planners, which, you know, are mostly expired. They were on super clearance. But as I mentioned in other videos, there are many months that line up from 2025 with 2026 months. 9 months due. So if you are going to grab, if you're interested in Laurel Denise at all, and you even want to use her for 2026, but you don't want to pay the 2026 prices, you can grab a 2025. It's a little, you know, when you redate, it's a little funky. Some things are going to be a little off. But I'm going to explain that in a different video, but you'll have 9 months that you won't have to redate or reday. You just pick Sunday start if you're Sunday start, Monday start if you're Monday start. If they don't have your Monday start left, because Monday starts do sell out, but there is an Ann and a Nancy still Monday start. Even if you don't like the cover. If they don't have your start yet, then that will be different. You will have to adjust then. Okay, so let me see here. These back pages are not punched. And then this page is not punched, which is part of my journal. The rest of them are clipped. So because all of these are clipped, I might just use these as is and pop them into the planner. But these pages back here do need to be punched. And one of this is my journal page, so I'm just going to turn it upside down while I punch it real quickly. You don't want to read my thoughts anyway. You can see much of my crazy already on this channel. Okay, so that's journaling. And so these, yeah, these are all the journaling pages. So my second Nancy. Oh, why did I do that? I did all of them. I mean, it worked. Went through. That was just a little harder. I guess in a pinch, you can do more. I just might need to stand up and get a grip. I'm going to try it again. Sorry, that's my stool. It's a twisty stool. And they could get stuck. Yeah, I'm just being lazy. But it worked, okay. And then we'll do the last of these pages together. Okay, we can't. We have to take this back one off because it bent. Hey, kitty. Okay, with all those punched, let's get them into the planner. What we're just gonna do is get behind the Nancy back pages, which is this first set of notes, and all of these note pages into this currently page type thing. Oh, and then actually we'll just, these are Nancy too. Okay, my first Nancy. So we're going to put the first one on here because you don't, again, want to see my thoughts. My journaling thoughts. So we'll get that on. Way back to, yeah, that's us. And now we'll get all these other ones on in order. So when I did do the Happy Planner, the cover that I showed you, I did also punch the pages just like this. Some people don't like seeing the extra squares and they cover this section with washi and then punch it. That's an extra step that doesn't really bother me. So that is up to you if you want to do it. I also have a video on where I put, for planner envy pages, I put strips of paper glued on, tape run onto the edge here to hide the extra holes, and then punched those. It looks great if you have a lot of time and you want to do that. So that is, I guess, up to you. All right, so now the Nancy's in there. Ready to go. So what we need in between is the rows And let me figure out where I have those pages. They are in this guy, which we have not uncoiled yet and taken out, right? So we have a December in here. Yeah, so we have some pages in here. This is from the Anne, here we go. And we don't have the back note pages. We don't have the back note pages, so that means we were right. And then we need this December and the back. Okay, good. So this has to come apart as well. Let's set this aside. It's always easier. I sometimes just try to do it on top, and it's just always easier if the current one is set aside for a moment. I do think I'm gonna like this, gals. I'm kind of excited. You know, I one time thought I would never leave disc planning. I mean, I was even working on a video about never leaving disc planning. Yet, I left it. But only for Laurel Denise, and now it's just, there's just some quirks that I want to get back from disc planning. So this is a smaller coil. This is the Rose Planner coil, formerly the Project Planner, and it formerly had a lot of really great back project pages, which I'm going to show you because they're in here. So we'll take them out first. We're just going to roll it until everything's off. And then we'll grab out the pages we need. So the cover is going to set aside because we don't need it right now. We don't need the name page. We have one. Yeah, so we don't need any of this. We need back here in December these pages with the notes. I think I already passed the Anne. So these are the project pages that I'm talking about. In the new 2026, you do get this yearly plan and you get some checklists, but you don't get all of these project pages. These are like 31-day monthly project pages, and then this is 2-week project pages, checklists, like none of these pages, well, the checklist and the initial yearly. You can see my unboxing if you want to see exactly the pages, but it's basically the yearly plan's a 2-year plan. The yearly plan squares, and then, so we need these. And then the checklists are now the only thing that's in the project planner in the back pages. And it's not called the project planner, it's called the Rose, obviously. So that is super thin. That's barely even worth putting back on a coil. And since, yeah, I think we're just gonna, is this the coil I took it off with? That looks too big. Oh yeah, that's not. I think we're gonna coil it back in with this big one, the leftover pages. So we'll do that in a second. And, or we'll figure out what we're gonna do with that. Hold on. So these are already clipped. That's kind of unfortunate, but I think it's because I had to get them off the Anne coil to store the pages together to use the Anne as one of my Frankenplanners. And that's the thing about Laurel Denise, you have to have an empty coil or take everything off the coil to Frankenplan your planners, except maybe whatever planner came on the coil, you can still use that one, but you'll have to clip all of the other planners off and get them on the coil, which is kind of what we're doing anyway. Since those are clipped, should I punch them? I think I will, if they go in nicely. Yeah, they went in nicely. But from now on, I won't have to clip the Anne out. Taking off the coil and punching it is faster, honestly. Maybe not a ton, but it is. You are probably going to hear my husband's TV or his voice in the background. He's a loud guy. It's because he has some hearing loss. Okay, back to assembly. Onto my discs. All right, so we have the Anne up here. Now we are gonna need 4th is a Thursday. Yeah. Okay. So these are the November weeklies. This is the December monthly. The December weeklies. And the December back of the monthly. All right, so let's go into our Frankenplanner, which we've already pulled apart, and grab our and pages. So because these were clipped first, I feel like they're not gonna turn as well, and that's okay. So, took everything off of the coil here. And now let's just grab our pages. Everything is paper clipped, so we will unpaper clip initially to get everything together. Oh, and these need punched. Some things might still need punched. Probably just a couple. So if you're thinking what a mess, just know every Frankenplanning process is a mess like this. Every. If you watch any Frankenplanning video, maybe some girls have really thought it out and went really carefully and slow, but even gals have thought it out. We get confused sometimes in the process, and so it's kind of a mess. So there's my name page that did not have any punched or clipped. So that is punched now. And then we have some extra post-its up front there. Taking off paper clips, and we're gonna grab the and pages. This needs punched. Should I punch this one? Let's see if they go in nicely together. 2 cardstock, probably not. Working. Yeah, kind of. We got it. Let's punch them. Oh, you heard that? That was rough. I did not like that. Okay, so now for these pages that are already punched and already done in October. And if I had done this earlier, which I wish I had, I wouldn't have clipped them out, which was kind of a waste of time at this point since I'm doing this. I would have just punched them because they have all these little extra, you know, spots in between that now flip up. But if it was punched, it would only have, so those weren't going on as well. We'll punch them then. So the only thing I did waste time clipping them out initially instead of just punching them. So now we gotta go back and punch them. So we'll fast forward this part. This is a lot of punching. All right, so let's get the weeklies on for the whole month. Yeah, that's better. I think all the little extra clipped pages are going to be bothersome, so that's kind of annoying because I did clip a lot of my pages ahead of time. But that's okay. And then this is still just like my little, those came right out. That's not good. So these may not be able to really go in because of how I punched them. I should have left them unpunched. I could cut off and punch again. Let's try it. So my point is, if I never clipped them in the first place, or if I left them clipped and unpunched, I think this could work well. But because I did both, clipped and unpunched, they didn't really stay together. So let's try again. It also could have been not clipping them in the middle, you know, how you're supposed to go in the middle. Center your pages. Could be that also, like the angle. So they didn't go in deep enough, but yeah, they didn't go in deep enough. Let's try that again. That's okay. So my point is this could have worked if I had done it differently. But I messed it up. That's sad. Okay. Anyway, back to this. Paper clips off. And I'm going to punch them because I know it just works better right now if I punch that. But this is the back page of the Anne, and then this next part's the Nancy. So we're going to move it over to the Nancy because we have some blank Annes, and I'll show you. Okay, so let's set all these aside for a moment. This mess. We'll talk about bookmarks in a minute because there is something that can be done. Okay, so the Anne's intact for October, which is now in my November planner, which is also in my December planner. So just the rest of the year, all these pages with these extra note pages that can be pulled out and moved to a different section of the planner. You know, I need to move it, I need to put it somewhere else. That is ready for the Anne. Okay, so here's the Nancy's. Let me get my Nancy pages, which are next. Now what I will do is paperclip these two together because this is the back of, oh, I need to punch it. The back of all my Nancy pages, I mean back of all my Anne pages, starting with my new Nancy pages. This is from September and this is October. I do prefer having more than 1 month at a time in my planner. It's not necessary, but I do like it, which is why I kind of wanted to go to this. Okay, bookmark out. Let's do the last 3 pages if it works. 3, 4 pages. And this is the back page of the Nancy November, which will lead into Nancy December. So I'll show you that in a second. And then we'll flip through again at the end and also do some bookmarks, which we can use Happy Planner bookmarks, or we can punch Laurel Denise more and use them. But here we're going into my Anne. But where did these go? Are these? Oh, these are my journal. Yeah. So that's at the end. Okay, so let's set all these aside. So we go from the Anne, and I can just look for, I still need this for my November calendar over here. I just look for my November tab. I'm gonna paper clip these two together. I think it might be a little less paper clips. Before we bookmark everything, which we will, let's put a striped paper clip here for work. And then we'll get my pages over where I was. I'm here. We are here on Sunday. November 19th or October, November. Not yet, not yet. We're getting there. I thought of using these little ghosts as boxes. Like I wrote in that one. It's pretty fun. Okay. So then we have Nancy October. Yay. Nancy November in the same planner. Yay. Nancy December in the same planner. Yay. And then Nancy notes and after notes. And now we're coming up on, we have the Ann. We're supposed to have the Ann next, but my journaling planner's next. So what we're going to do is pull these over, set up the rows here, and then I'll take this page out because it's my journal. We already said nobody wants to know my craziness. So here's my October rows. People have asked Laurel Denise if she was going to do a DISC system, and it's just not something I think they're interested in doing. But one thing that's nice about Plum Paper, if you guys know Plum Paper, is they will give you unpunched pages, which is not a DISC system, but then you can punch them or spiral them or, you know, 3-ring binder them, whatever you want to do. I think that could be a great idea because hopefully a little less production cost too, because then everybody can use like the format that they like. So we're getting the October rose pages in. I'm just having a little bit. One of these is actually an insert. I'm punching an insert here. We'll do that one alone because it seems like these two are not getting along together. It's this first one. This page I clipped from behind. And now I won't have to worry about it because it's disc punched. I can move it around if I need to or pull it out if I need to. But I already did clip it. Okay, so here's an insert page. So it has those reinforced tabs, but I need it punched. So we're gonna do that. Get it all the way back. Every time get it all the way back or they're gonna be shallow and you're gonna have to repunch. And it looks kind of junky. So that was a little harder, but not bad. And insert pages are always gonna have the in-between fraying, but because they are reinforced, I think it works a little better than just one of these pages clipped out. This is gonna be really thick in the middle, and I'm kind of curious how the discs are gonna hold because, you know, the coil kind of binds it together as well. We're gonna see. Oh. All right, we might need to dump. That was a insert and a regular page. Whew. I have talked in my videos before about, and so here's the back of the rose. What did I talk in my videos before about? Oh, grabbing extra 2025 planners for inserts. You would have to redate them, but if you're interested in inserts anyway, you have to at least, they're undated, so you would at least have to date them. An insert from a 2025 planner would be a little more work where you'd have to white out the old one or sticker over it. If you're using stickers anyway, it's really easy. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. All right, so now we have November. Where's the December page? Still have it over here? Okay, so I'm just gonna look around. I know I have it. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Wow, this whole stack, I forgot, is all the rows. All right, we're just gonna get punching. This is the December page. Whoops, spiral on the ground. And then this is the notes page, and then we'll have the project pages to get in here, which will be nice. I would like to have them all together and be able to move them around instead of having to go to a COIL and clip them out or unspiral them out. Okay, so we'll do 2 at a time of these project pages. So in the video that I'm linking below where they did a cardboard cover, she also cut a May out and made it into a, I think it was a 6-wing binder, A5, B6, I don't know the sizes, whatever size that one is. And she made it into a different kind of planner with the cardboard cover. So that was clever. And I'm saying that because I do not do bound planners. I like to fold my planners back on themselves. So it has to be a spiral or a disc. The only reason I was open to spiral is because you could do that. And then once I saw that Laurel Denise had inserts, that's what really got me interested in her planners. I had always seen them and I thought they were like so clever and beautiful, but it just clicked one day that I could clip out pages or use inserts in Frankenplan because I am a huge Frankenplanner. Okay, that was like 3 or 4 pages. So. Woohoo! Okay, so now that rose is covering my journal, and this one can come back over here, wherever the rose started. Yeah, up here. All right. Wait. That's not where the rose started. The rose started way over here. So this is my September section of my rose. And I'm going to clip the September page to this page, and I think I will do it about here first and then do the paper clips. The paper clips are also super bulking up the Laurel Denise COIL, where I just didn't see how I was going to be able to put much else on there. And you guys are going to see how bulky this is. This is bulky. So now we just have to get the journaling planner pages back on. So I'll do that real quickly off of camera. Okay gals, I am getting really excited, but this thing is a beast, which I like. I like a beast. If I wanted to go down, I could take out some of the months. But I have October, November, December for 5 planners in here, and this actually took a lot on these discs. I was thinking of adding one more planner, so we'll see how that works out. If we're even gonna do that, which I do think there's room. But it's also because I have all of the project planner pages in there as well, and all of the back pages in there as well. So let's have a look. I'm pretty excited. So we first open to the name page, and I do think now we put the name on the page. So I'm gonna put my name on there. I don't think we have to do that right this second, but here is the special dates and holidays. And again, I got this in July, so I really didn't start writing in it actually until September, which is under here. And just some notes. Here's my Anne, and let's get it to the page that we're at, but this was this month already. This was last week, and we're right here. What I like to do is we'll clip this January together because we don't need it, and this is the back of September, so we'll paper clip that. I'm a paperclip junkie now. I haven't used paper clips probably in decades, and now I'm like using them every day. They do kind of fall off, so I'm still looking for a nice paper clip that's not too bulky. That was definitely on the spiral. This, now I could probably get bulkier paper clips, but here we are on the Anne. Now these were clipped before, so they're not turning as smoothly, and then I did make a problem with my little budget pages, but I just punched them funny, but they're okay. And then here's the back of the Anne with my daily cleaning, weekly cleaning, and monthly cleaning. And then we go into the Anne for November, which is not set up, but will be, and these turn better, well, about the same. Yeah, and then December, and all on here. So now gals, you know, when I'm moving, I don't have to have a bunch of planners out to grab the pages later. Everything is already Frankenplanned, and here's the back pages in case I need note pages, and I'll show you how I'm using some of the note pages now. So here's the back page of a blank page of October. Why is that blank? Oh yeah, so this is the back page of the notes coming into the September page, was the September page of my Nancy. And now it's the October monthly on the other side. So we need that part, so I paper clip that together. We already paper clipped this together, but it was just the previous weeks. And now we're at this week. So for my Nancy, which is my work planner, if you haven't seen my videos, my work planner. And then these pages, this is have a tracker from last month that I didn't use, but I decorated it cutely, so I grabbed it to pop in and just have back here in case I use it, which I haven't used it again, and it's already the 19th. So at this point, I should probably just put this back where it belongs and use this one if I'm going to. But I don't know, I like the color, so I'm gonna leave it for now. That's gonna be the same for the, that was the same for the and. Did I put that? Yeah, I think so. That was the same over here for the and. I had this cute habit tracker from September that I didn't use. So here's October. This is like my different channels, and this is my side hustle section over here with my monthly, everything together. November is right after that, so I can look ahead or write something ahead. December, right after that. And all of the note pages for that planner. The end of the year note pages, end of the planner note pages that I can move around if I need to, add some different things. So now this is clipped to the old September Rose back page, and it now opens up to, and I could just bookmark instead of clipping to, it opens up to the new Rose, the October, and this is just my drawings, but this is what it looked like with some inserts in there. There's some drawings again, inserts, but this is what I've been using the back pages for, drawings for setting up my house, staging it, rearranging some furniture to get ready for sell, to sell. You know, like when you're selling your house, like everything has to be a little more perfect, definitely more perfect than when you live in it. So that's what we're kind of doing with these pages. And here's the back of the Rose. Now the Rose goes into November Rose, December Rose, and then the notes tab goes into all these project pages that I was showing you that are only in the 2025 Rose. So two things about the 2025 Rose that I will mention. If you like a Sunday start, you can only get these project pages with a Sunday start in the 2025 Rose. The inserts are all Monday start because that's what the majority of people use. So that's one reason why I got an extra Rose, to have some of these back pages in Sunday start, and then just to have these project pages. The Rose right now is $20, the 2025 one, January to December 2025, not the 2026 one, which will not have these pages. But the January to December 2025 has these back pages. It's $20, and for the cover and the inserts and everything, these monthlies that you get, I think it's a better deal than just getting the insert pack. But if you don't want a bunch of extra stuff, like extra pages, extra covers, you don't have to have that. You can just get the insert pack with a Monday start. But just to let you know, if you're a Sunday start gal, the Rose is a great deal. You can get the Sunday start projects, and then you have all these extra project pages. Look at all these in the back for the Rose, because it was a project planner. Now, these aren't here. What is here is just this yearly plan, and then some checklist pages. So 2 sets of those. So you even get 1 extra checklist page. No, 1, 2, oh yeah. So same amount of checklist pages. And then this yearly plan, the rest are just grid and dot grid. So none of these project plan breakdown pages in here. You have to get the project expansion pack or insert pack for that. All right, so that goes to the Rose, which leads us to, this is the September part of my journal, which the back page, which I did not use in September. I tried it in August, but we're gonna skip all of October. Here's the November journal pages, obviously not set up. The December journal pages, and the notes pages. Now, this thing, like I said, is a beast. This is like a giant, like project clipboard, you know, planner now, but I actually like that. I prefer that to several planners. Let's talk about what I was going to add that I may not add, and then we'll get the bookmarks, and then we'll kind of like end this video, because what is it, like so long, so long. Let me get all this stuff out of the way so that I can sweep up the trash. I had considered putting the wellness planner into my Laurel Denise Frankenplanner. On the COIL, I would not have had room. And then I had thought of putting the Bible planner in the Laurel Denise Frankenplanner. There's the other COIL. But again, on the COIL, I would not have had room. Now I have room for those if I want to put them in here. I will have room for it because this is the expander discs, and it's actually holding up really nicely. Okay, bookmarks. You can obviously now use any of your Happy Planner bookmarks and dashboards to separate in here, and I still do have my tabs, which let me finish those up because I didn't put all those on. I do still have these tabs for my planners. So my main is gonna get a little heart. My work gets the stripes. These are just paper clips. And then the rose gets the dark. And then let's put the map, I guess, for the journal. Because we have all these pages in between now, which could be taken out and put all the way in the back if I wanted them to be. Just like all the extra pages in the back, and just have my planner up front. And I might do that because I do kind of like having the planners back to back. We'll see. Okay, so any classic accessory that you have can now fit on here, and I'm gonna grab some. All right, so these are, I have other things too, but this is like my little basket of, well, it's kind of a mix of everything. This is planner envy stuff back here. But up front, I have some cute bookmarks. I already pulled some out, so I will leave some of them, you know, but some of the bookmarks can go like, let's see if I have any that do it. These are just front. No, these are all the same. Sometimes a bookmark has a tab over here instead. But all the Laurel Denise are these front bookmarks anyway. And even though this is, it will be kind of sad to lose the ruler, but let's see. So we'll put this here where I'm at right now. And I pulled a bunch out. I will have to look for them. Pulled a bunch of cute ones out that I liked. So that I can have them easily to now flip. And I could label it, etc. So this is what I have. And it fits in there. Oh, gals. So this feels pretty good. Now, I guess we can get the pages back together. We will do it probably quickly. But what we have are like just a few pages here from the old rose. And then this here has, is this just Anne? No, that's Nancy. That's Nancy. These are all just Nancy until June. Yeah, so I think I'll put them on here. I'll put the rose on the front. And this will be Rose and Nancy. On this coil, and then we'll find out what cover we're going to put on to protect the pages. So let's see. Oh, we still have this cover. All right, we have this cover, and then we also have our, you know, makeshift cover. Oh, by the way, this might have like just turned you off to Laurel Denise because I'm kind of butchering them, but in a functional way, right? But if you're interested in Laurel Denise planners, you can use my code TAMBER10 for an extra 10% off. It's TAMBER10 all together, and it gets an extra 10% off of your purchase. The only thing it doesn't work on is the clearance planners. And the clearance planners, by the way, we're gonna flip this around. So what you do when you're putting the covers back on, you flip the pages all the way over to this kind of big side here, and then you put the covers on. Your front cover and front pocket goes pocket down first, and you can see because that's how it'll be when it's open. It'll look like this, and then this one goes pocket out down on top of that cover, and then you can see, just to look real quickly, this is how it would be when it's open, and the pockets will be on the inside. So pop those on, close up your coils, look around and make sure there's nothing else just hanging out. We do have this extra cover. It can just go in a box. Now, I did show how I made this cover from an existing cover by flipping the pocket around. I used Undo, which is like a lubricant release, like a sticky release, not a lubricant, sticky release. And I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so now this is the storage pages now in this cover. So I'm gonna set that aside, and it can actually be packed because those are all to June. I don't need any of those pages now that I have everything here till the end of December. The only thing that might happen is if we're still here after December, then I'll have to start getting things out again, which I really hope that's not the case, but it could be the case. Let's be honest. So I'm gonna put this TAMBER10 code back here, where I have it. Maybe I'll put it up front. I might put it up front, yeah. And I have my holiday stickers in my Happy Planner that I'll move over as well. I'll pop back on if I find my bookmarks really quickly. But right now, these Laurel Denise bookmarks, I'm just going to pop them in that planner that I just put together. All together, so let's do that. This one that we just got together, we're just going to put these all in the front. It's kind of bulky in the front, but that's okay. I like how easily these go on. So that's ready to be set aside. And yeah, I'll give a quick look for some of those bookmarks that I pulled out and see if I can find them. And if not, we will just end this video. So these are my holiday stickers that I'm going to stick in the pocket here. Now I saw Nancy do something. Maybe we can just try it actually. Get all crazy. This video is long enough, but I would really like to have everything done well by the time it's over. So let's just try it. And what she had done is did a cut in her folder over here for her sticker sheets. So we're gonna see about it. I can at least hold my Happy Planner ones. I think we'll do it about half. So I have this as my self-healing cutting mat from Dollar Tree. I'm putting it in here. And I'm grabbing my cutter, my craft cutter. Scoot this over. See if this can be the center. And maybe we do this with a ruler too, though. We'll go a little higher. I don't know if this is going to tear the pocket because I didn't see an update video on how this worked, but Nancy had done this to fit her stickers in there. I gotta try not to move it or cut myself. So I'm using the actual sticker sheet as a guide and then the ruler to help me stay straight. And let's see how it went. Might have been too low. Let's see. I might have done it too low. Yeah. Looks like maybe, but let's see if it fits in there. Separate it now. Yeah, I'm guessing this would rip it after a while. Oh wait, it doesn't even fit, does it? Oh, it should fit. Maybe not, actually. It's barely gonna fit down there if I don't get it caught on the edge of the pocket. So let's try it again. Barely in there. Was that worth it? Let's get a couple more in and see what I think. You know, because they fall around otherwise. Ooh, so we need a little wider for the bulk. I don't have the mat under there anymore. Okay. And so now you could just like kind of flip like this and see what it is, which ones are there, maybe. I don't know if I love that, but it was clever when she did it. So let's get a couple more in there and then we'll put the rest in the back. Or I guess in the side could work. Yeah, so that's probably too much now. They're gonna stick out the top. Alright. Put some of these on the side. This is where they usually are, and they kind of just move around. We'll put the code there, and everything just fell down. Oh my goodness, what a mess. Okay, and then I did find some of my bookmarks. Definitely not my favorites, but this one obviously is one of my favorites. It's beautiful. Okay, so let's put that one in here in the Nancy work. You can do a unicorn with these ghosts. Okay, and then this is what I'm talking about, how this one's tabbed over. So it's, you know, got a little scoot over, and we'll do that for the rose. Or is that too big? I might just do another regular bookmark. I don't want it to cover all the page, so this one's fun. Pastels, but that's okay. And then what else do I like for the journaling? I like this one. Now also, I have these envelopes I can pop in. I don't know what I use them for, but if I wanted to keep something in there, I could do that right now too. I do like these from Rongrong, but they cover too much. So we're gonna put this back. I mean, they're not actually from Rongrong. They're Happy Planner. Okay, so for the journal, we will just not film this part. Okay, so that's essentially the same setup I had before, where all the bookmarks were kind of in the front. We have catch-all, work, rose, and journal for the 4 planners that are in here right now. All right, gals. Oh, that was a lot of work. I'm tired now. I feel like I need a snack. So this is my Constant Joe. And the last thing we're going to discuss, okay, so let's just go over. I had done this before previously in Happy Planner about a year ago. I had punched this chipboard cardboard cover, which is what gave me the confidence to do it right now with the Laurel Denise cover. So that's one of the reasons. And then I just wanted more space on the COIL than what the Laurel Denise gave. I did try this cardboard cover with the video that I'm linking below, and it's okay, but it's better probably for storing pages, not to use as a regular cover. For one, the edges can still be sharp for a cardboard cut, which are really painful. I did Mod Podge the edge, and I think that has helped, but I still don't want to just run my finger across it. So if you're grabbing it in a hurry, it could be a problem. But it was easy enough to disc punch and put on the discs. And so now it's just like a protective cover, and I have some old Anne pages in here for right now, but I'll pop them back into my Anne planner because they are clipped out. But this could also be reversible, and you could do it a different way too, where the way I have it right now, if I was reversing it, it's just because I punched it. I didn't think enough before I punched it. This would be the front cover with this circle. So if you'd like that, that could be fine, but it could also be your back cover just like this on the back. If it was punched on this side, it could be your back cover, and then this could be your front cover. So just think about how you're punching them if you're gonna try the cardboard cover idea. But like I said, it's good for pages, especially for Laurel Denise, because you don't have like a lot of covers and pages to just store some of your extra pages on. So it's useful for that. We also talked about this Scout being my wellness planner, and I really have loved it for it. It's just like a fun little planner to flip through. There I go, losing stuff. To flip these little pages and just to have the monthly there at all times. The reason I'm thinking of changing is because I'm not paying as much attention to it as I should. As it's a separate planner, it's like out of sight, out of mind. And if I use the pop-up planner, this Joe, this is our family command center, but I found a different one on eBay. So right now this pop-up planner is $25 on Laurel Denise website, but it's only the Monday start, and I'm a Sunday start gal. So oddly enough, I found one on eBay that was Sunday start, and I'm so grateful because, and it was the same price as if I had ordered it through the Laurel Denise after shipping and tax and everything. So maybe just a little cheaper on the eBay one. And it was an unused one. A gal had bought it and I guess decided not to use it. So it was still new. And so that one I'm going to put to use as my wellness planner. So I'm just going to list my things up here, probably put bedtimes at the top, which is what I now put at the bottom. We can review that a little, the idea, and then we'll see how the execution comes out. But bedtime right now is right here at the bottom. I can add those to the top above each day, bedtime and how many hours, and then I have some tracking, room for some meals, And I can just I put my wellness up here now, but I had planned to put only wellness and workouts and the calendar. So now I could put wellness and workouts on this calendar. And if I need more room, I do always have this flip up ability from the previous week, which I did use in previous July versions of this planner. When there was extra stuff to write, I would just write it up here. I even decorated it and made it cute and put some extra stuff on there. So I could always put food up there or something, like write only my food up there or something, and have the rest of this for different wellness. That is the plan, and I'm excited to get that in the mail probably tomorrow. Since it's a separate planner anyway, but it'll be popped up all the time on my desk, where it'll be like telling me, go exercise, be healthy, take care of yourself. Here, this is folded and closed, and like, it's not yelling at me. So I think I need to be yelled at this point after trying several months to put my self-care and wellness as a priority. It just has not happened. So let's make it scream at me. That's the idea. All right. So now that I have that Frankenplan planner for Laurel Denise set up, I'm taking this cardboard piece that I tried to make into a cover that just didn't work too well, and I'm going to make it like this dashboard holder of Post-it notes, a Post-it note dashboard. So, and then I'm going to pop that into the planner. So all I'm going to do is get these glued on. I think I can stick these there with that. I'm using this permanent tape runner, and hopefully it stays. I don't know, we'll see. This is probably more than I will need for a long time, but it'll be nice to just have a dashboard with stickies. I'm hesitating to cut off this side, but I guess once it's tape run onto the dashboard, it's not really going to be usable any other way anymore. So I think we'll do that. It's fine. Like this. These are old Post-its that I've had for a long time, and they kind of end up just being wasted in a basket because they're never there when I want to use them. And I just grab my normal Post-its from my desk. And I do have a couple of these Post-its that fell off some of my other sets, so maybe I grab them too, kind of add them in. Fit what we can. Okay, so there it is, like just a dashboard of Post-its. And this was the whole front cover of this accessory book, and I just taped on the cover. So those are already arranged, and then I have all these extras. So no, my husband, so they are ready to go. No, my husband's loud in the background. So we'll just end this. I just wanted to show you real quickly what I was going to do with one of those covers, and then we'll see. I still have another one that I can work out and use something with, do something with as well. So pretty nice. We're going to pop that into the planner. I think they're going to be in the front. Okay. Yep. So now I have this great planner. Open it up. My holiday stickers, a whole dashboard of sticky notes, and then I can go straight into my weekly. And I do have this popped into my weekly for right now, but I guess I don't really need that anymore. So no, I'm gonna take that out. Maybe we just pop it in the front here because I have them close enough right here. So that's a lot of variety for sticky notes for when I need them for the week. So I like having that out. Okay, so far I'm liking the planner, but I mean, it's only been a few hours. But I wanted to get that ready as well. Super chunky. I like a chunky planner. This is definitely fitting the bill. But anyway, here is the beautiful planner. It's like, this could be a weapon. And I know, like, unless you'd like a really chunky and big, because this is big also. This is essentially a happy planner big, this size. You can see that from this cover. This is a big happy planner cover. It's almost, you know, it's just horizontal instead of the vertical. This would be the happy planner. And you can see it's just a little bit bigger than that. So it's essentially a big happy planner and super chunky on top of it. But I love it. It's like a clipboard, you know? You don't flip it up this way though, but yeah, I like it a lot. So it is ready to go for October, November, and December. Super excited, loving it. But we'll see how it works in the next couple weeks. Since I've had a cover like this before, I know it's not gonna be a problem for the cover, but yeah, we'll see if I like lugging it around. It's like a workout itself. Maybe I could put that as my workout in my wellness planner. Carried around my planner. Just joking. Okay, we do still have this cover off of a COIL, and we do have an extra COIL. So I think we're gonna box these, put these in a box to keep them safe, and that'll be good to put extra pages on sometime. All right, gals, thanks for joining me today in a super long video as getting this planner set up. Check back later. We'll show you how it's going. Check back later when I set up my pop-up planner as a wellness planner. And I'm still doing an office tour and still doing a pack up all my planners, plus decluttering some of my planners. It's going to be pretty sad. Some of my planners have been with me since like 2019, 2018, and yes, I do not hoard a ton of stuff. I hoard books and planners. That's what you could say that I hoard, you know, like hoard. And you'll see that because I've already, actually already have gotten rid of a lot, but these are like the last cut in my mind, but there's still too many. So we'll do another last cut, maybe another last cut, and we'll keep cutting until I can have maybe like one box of planners to move with, maybe two, maybe one or two boxes of planners to move with, because planners are not light when you're moving them. All right, I'm already feeling like just better right now knowing that this is done. So I'll let you know how I like it. Thanks so much for joining me today on Tamper with a Plan. I'll see you next time. Bye guys.